Hey everybody, welcome back to Harris Family Adventures. All right, we have just returned once again from the Valentin. So I know a lot of you, sorry, that's the dishwasher. Hope that's not a problem. A lot of you found us through the Valentin videos. That was one of our first adventures last year, and that had been our third time. This is our fourth time going. So I'm gonna do things a little bit different this time. If you're new here for my Valentin videos, I tend to just talk a lot and I'll throw pictures or videos up occasionally, but I just kind of like to give you the information. You can find tons. Holt and Ashley Walker have a great channel with so much footage. That's how I found footage of the Valentin. So I'd recommend you go to their channel. I'll try to link them below if I remember. Otherwise, I'm just gonna run you through what to expect. So we're not doing day by day this time, we're doing what to expect. And I have my notes here because I didn't want to forget anything. So we're gonna start this first video, so be sure to subscribe because I'm gonna have lots of videos about kind of what to expect of the dining, what to expect of drinks, what to expect of entertainment, what to expect of the pools. But we're starting with the rooms today. So what to expect of the rooms. Now, if you've watched our other videos, you know the first two times we went upon check-ins, we didn't reserve an upgraded room, but upon check-in, they offered us a deal to upgrade to a room that overlooked the golden pool. So we did that the first two times. Those rooms are lovely. Disclaimer, in those rooms, the tub that all of the rooms have is open between the living space / bedroom space and the bathroom. So if you're traveling with maybe some friends and that feels a little too exposed for you, just kind of know that. For us, it wasn't a big deal. That wasn't something that we upgraded for, but that does happen in those golden U rooms where you overlook the golden pool. Anyway, last time we went, so to quote my favorite YouTuber, short story long, last time we went, we were ready to upgrade and they didn't offer it. They just said, okay, here's the room we have for you. And we were like, okay. So we took it and it is the basic room and we love it. So we stuck with that this time. We really like building 4. I'll put a map of the resort up here. So you can see building 4 is kind of close to the plaza. That's where that entertainment is at night. I'll talk about that later. That's where most of the restaurants are at night. I'll talk about that later. But it's also pretty close to the actual main pool, which is where we typically spend the most of our time. This time was a little bit different. I'll talk about that later as well. Anyway, so he was gonna check us in. I don't even know what he was offering us. We had a really nice guy. I guess I could talk about what to expect on check-in just a little bit because that relates to the room. So when you get to the Valentin, the lobby is air conditioned. The bellboy will walk you there. They'll take your luggage. They'll give you a little ticket that has your luggage tags on it. They'll walk you to the lobby. They'll let the lobby know that you're ready to check in. There's a lot of little seating arrangements and they'll bring you a drink and you can just sit there and wait for them to check you in, sitting down at a desk, which I really appreciate. This time the lobby was absolutely full. Packed to the gills. So the gentleman, who has been the same gentleman the last couple of years, said, why don't you go and eat? Well, he gave us the option. Would you like to wait or would you like to go and eat and come back? And we hadn't eaten anything. So, and this was probably around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So we went, maybe 1:30. We went and ate, we came back, and I was just gonna let them know, hey, just letting you know we're back. We're gonna sit over here, just, you know, whenever you get to us. And the concierge happened to be near and he's like, I'll check you in. So anyway, Aaron, the concierge, offered us a room and we just said, you know, we would like to have a king size bed and we would like to be on the 2nd or 3rd level in buildings 4 or 5. I know that's a lot to expect, but I think most of the rooms have king size beds. In building 4 or 5, 2nd or 3rd floor, I just don't want to be on the 1st floor. So then he kind of came back and forth a couple of times and he ended up saying we could have a king size bed, building 5, 1st floor, or 2 double beds, building 5, 2nd floor. So we said, and he said, and I can ask them to push the beds together, you know, and when they are able to get to it. And we said, yes, let's take that. So we got to our room, they have you sit and wait, then they drive you in a golf cart to your room. They bring the bags upstairs and we had 2 double beds and the room is very nice. Now, if you want to go down and watch last year's day 1 Valentin video, I have a whole room tour in there. Ours looked identical. It was just flipped instead, no big deal. So the basic room, again, that's the basic. You're going to have 2 closets with a safe and robes and slippers. You're going to have a little bench where you can keep luggage, or we just kept towels there. You're gonna have a mini bar that typically has some fruit juices in it, a couple of kinds of beer. I didn't drink any of those. Bottles of water, they use glass bottles. And even though I've made a packing list and I heard people use my packing list, I forgot to pack a bottle opener because they have one, but it's screwed onto the side. So I just would open a whole bunch of bottles and just have bottles of water open so that I didn't have to try and worry about it in the middle of the night when I'm really thirsty, or in the morning when Justin's still sleeping and I just want a bottle of water. So there's a little side note. They all have coffee machines. They look nice. We don't drink coffee. The bathroom, I do believe the upgraded rooms, I remember them having 2 sinks. We have 1, and there's not a ton of counter space, but I mean, really, that's being nitpicky. There is a separate water closet. There is no bidet in our room. A huge jetted tub. It does take a bit to fill, so I used it a couple of times. I would just like turn it on, and then I would like put my contacts in, brush my teeth, you know, those types of things. A shower that's a little bit separate. That's not a little bit. It is separate. Then the room itself, it has like a table with 2 chairs, a couch with a coffee table, a desk with a chair, and then the bed situation, and then a huge balcony. So the buildings are 3 floors tall. That's a note that I have here. I do want to talk about the beds. So we got into our room probably around 3 or so. Justin knows me, I like to unpack everything. So we unpacked, then we went down to the, I think it's called the Sunrise Bar. It's the one on the beach with the swings, and just watched the ocean and just tried to relax. Like, okay, you know those travel days, just relaxing, and made it back. So it was probably around 6 or so, and they came to push our beds together. So it was like, oh, okay, like, yeah, welcome on in. And I was doing things in the bathroom, kind of getting some things ready. And they said, we're done, and they left. You guys, 2 double beds pushed together is now, as we refer to it, mega bed. It becomes the biggest bed in the world. Now the headboards are bolted to the wall, so the headboards didn't move, so it was always a little strange looking, but we kind of joked, but kind of being serious, like I think we're gonna ask for 2 double beds moving forward, and then ask for them to be pushed together, because then you have so much room. Oh my gosh, you have so much room. It's great. So I'm trying to look through my list here. Just as a reminder, yes, all the buildings are 3 stories tall. There is elevator access for all of them. We were on the 2nd floor, so we never took the elevator. One of the things we did talk about going back to upgrades, one upgrade that may be worth it, I don't know, we're thinking about it, is an upgrade to a walkout along the Golden Pool, because then you do have access to that Golden Pool, and we did utilize the Golden Pool a couple of times this trip, and it would be nice just to kind of walk out, be in the pool, but still have access to your room, especially if you're with other people, and they could keep their stuff there. So I don't know, we're thinking about that in the future. Also, something we noticed this time, we've never noticed it before, and maybe because we had 2 double beds, our couch was also a pull-out bed. So there's a lot of sleeping options there. We did not have any kind of clothes line to dry things. That was something different. I did notice that it seemed like the ones around the Golden Pool had that. We did not have that on our balcony. So if you would like that in a room, you might want to bring a string of some kind. I'm not sure how that would work. You know, it just ends up looking like a disaster in our room. We end up hanging things over the shower door, over the bathtub, over the towel rack. You just end up hanging things all over the place, but just kind of knowing that. In terms of temperature, we went June 25th through June 30th, and it was so hot. It was so hot. Our first morning there, it was about 8 o'clock. I was sitting on the patio or balcony waiting for Justin to wake up, and I checked the weather, and it was a heat index at 8:04 a.m. of 96 degrees. It was so hot. But our room, 5225, this trip, was nice and cold. It was so nice and cold. They had told us when we checked in that we could adjust our thermostat. They showed us where that was. I turned it down to 62. Did it get to 62? No. Was it cold? Yes. It was heaven. Now, yes, like a lot of places, anytime a door is open, the air conditioning turns off. So sometimes, and there is a screen door for the balcony, so sometimes Justin was like, let's just have like the screen door and let's have the door open and some fresh air. And then the air conditioner turns off, and it's real humid, and it gets real humid in there. So I don't like that. our air conditioner worked fantastic. Now we went with some friends, they walked into our room one time and they were like, oh, our room does not get this cold, but their room still got pretty cold. There is also always a ceiling fan, ours is running constantly. However, if you've been around, you know, one of my travel must-haves is a little portable fan that I like to put right on the nightstand, blowing right in my face. There were no power outlets by the bed. There were no power outlets by the bed. Now, there was one, but then the clock and the lamp was plugged into that, so we probably would have just unplugged that. Once the beds got pushed together, we didn't have access to those outlets anymore, and so I did not like that because I like to have my phone next to the bed and I like to have my fan. My fan is chargeable, but it wouldn't have lasted all night, I don't think. So I just ended up keeping my watch next to the bed. I could check the time that way, and everything else charging other places, and I actually didn't use my fan at all because our room got nice and cold. But yes, be forewarned, in our situation, there was no power outlets next to the bed. An upgrade that we had this time that we did not have before was our room had Bluetooth, which was awesome. Most nights while we were getting ready, or we were room service a couple of nights, so just like hanging out in our room, we could connect our phones to it, we could play our playlist. I love that feature. I also know that Valentin is in the process of updating their rooms in general. In terms of decor, like some of them are more moving away from the burgundies and more to the blues and the teals. But then some other rooms we walked through building, I don't know, we walked through another building one time and they had a little like control panel looking thing outside of their room, and instead of the, you know, the little door hanger that says please make up our room or do not disturb, there was just buttons instead that were controlled on the inside. So if you didn't want to be disturbed, you can just press that from the inside, or if you want your room made up, you press that from the inside and then it shows up on the outside. So I do know, not that it's in terrible need of updates, but I do know that they are doing some updates to the room as well. I know that was kind of discombobulated, but I think I hit everything on my list. So this was just about the room specifically. Again, I will be coming out with more and more and more videos that talk about all of the different aspects of the Valentin Imperial Riviera Maya. If you have any questions, leave me down below. Bye.
I can't forget the day we met. Your eyes so blue, me piercing through.